Welcome to the world of Wraith. Got with you guys something a little different. This goes for all the new players, so if you're a new player, stick around. I'm going to try to do more content for new players coming into the game. If you're a vet, if you've been playing Flesh and Blood for a while, send this to one of your new player friends, someone new to your locals. I'll be doing more videos like this, going over cards I think you should pick up. Now, we're going to start at the lower end where things are fairly cheap for a card game price, and as the video goes on it's gonna get a little more expensive. But without further ado, let's get started. I got 10 generics that I think all Flesh and Blood players should own. Number one, we're gonna talk about the king itself, Sink Below. Originally came out in the first set and has been in the metagame ever since. Such an amazing card, generic, blocks for 4, and it could even help you fix your hand by simply putting a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck, then you draw a card. The card is about $1 to $2, but if you ask your local game store, ask your buddies that play Flesh and Blood, you might be able to get a playset for free. You know, a lot of people should have extras of these. If for any reason they don't, then it might be a good idea to go to TCG Player, get a card open, and buy a couple of these. That's what I did when I first started playing the game. I bought a lot of generics that I'll be going over. So Sink Below, not bad. We have a seller here that has 86 of them, so for all the new players. Now, Sink Below's brother, Fate Foreseen. In some decks, Fate Foreseen could be seen as better. Sometimes knowing the top card of your deck can be huge, especially if you're going to draw that turn. A lot of the times drawing a random card in Flesh and Blood can be good. Sometimes you leave it in Arsenal, sometimes it's a bad card you don't want to Arsenal. So being able to opt and just look at the top card of your deck can be very powerful. Just blocks 4, just like Sink Below, and much like Sink Below, it's pretty cheap, about $1 per copy. Ask your locals, ask your Flesh and Blood community if they have this. I think everybody should own 3 Sinks, 3 Fate Foreseens, not negotiable. Sigil of Solace, another amazing staple. When I first got into the game and I saw this gain 3 life, I was wondering why this was like a card that was so popular. But as you play the game, as you learn to get value out of your hands, Sigil of Solace can be so amazing for just being able to turn your 4 card hand into 12 value or more. You know, drawing this on turn 0 or turn 1 and starting your life at 43 can be pretty powerful. This being an instant and putting in your arsenal, even if they throw some sort of arsenal disruption against you, you can still just play it, gain 3 life. Very powerful, very cheap too. This isn't for every deck, but there's a lot of decks that will play Sigil of Solace, you know, and it's not just for decks that want to heal life. You know, assassins have played this before. Fatigue decks can play this before. So very powerful card, pretty cheap. Definitely get your hand on a copy or a playset of Sigil of Solace. Oasis Respite, a little more niche, not like the defense reactions that we're seeing, but being able to prevent damage is very unique. Preventing damage is not like blocking, and it also lets you get around not only arcane damage but other cards that just say deal damage. So preventing damage, very powerful. It only costs 1, so if you have like your tunic ready, you can play this for free in a way. And if you're lower life, gaining that 1 point of life can be very powerful, making this like a 1 card 5. Great instant. Definitely make sure you have your playset. Green Tree SC has 35, so if for some reason your local players don't have this, you can get a playset here. Very powerful. One of the heroes that this was really good against, Kano Drakai of Aether, recently left the classic constructed metagame, but I'm sure that Oasis Respite will be useful versus other heroes in the future. Now we have Snatch. This is one of the first offensive generic cards we have. Super simple. If Snatch hits, draw a card. This has seen tons of play in many aggressive decks like Draconic Ninjas, Lightning Rune Blades, This is such an amazing 1 card 4, gives you the ability to draw a card. If you can play this at the end of your turn, has a great on hit. If you can give this go again, it can be a powerful attack that they have to respect. Pretty cheap. We have copies here for under $1. You can get your playsets for a couple of vendors. Very, very powerful card. Snatch. Make sure you have your playset. Pummel. A little different than the other cards we've been looking at, since this is a attack reaction. You can use it on a club or a hammer weapon, but if you use it on an attack action that costs 2 or more, it's going to give it +4, and on hit, if it hits, the defending hero discards a card. This is notoriously played in Guardian decks, but can be played in many different decks like Puffin, Rhinar, tons of different applications, as this is a generic. Very powerful, great on hit, and it's also evasive damage. You know, being in the attack reaction, your opponent has to have a defense reaction or an instant to really counter this. Now, this is so good that it's just a little expensive, $2. Like, we have a ton of stock here with card arbitrage. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But this is very, very useful card. Like I said, if this is a little too much, just ask your LGS, ask your friends. They might have extra copies of Pummel. Very powerful card. Now, Overcrowded. We're starting to get a little more expensive. This card is fairly new, coming out in the last set, Super Slam. I think this is a great blue because of its ability to gain more defense value specifically. You can also gain attack value based on a different named auras in the arena. But a lot of the times this card is being used defensively because it can block for 4, 5. I've seen this thing block for 6. It's very powerful, and it being a blue also just gives you that versatility of when you need to pitch it. It gives you 3 resources. The card is about $5 to $6. Guys, if you're looking at this video when it's being posted, it's probably a good time to pick it up. This is pretty cheap for such a powerful generic. If you're looking at this in the future, Overcrowded might be a little more expensive. So this channel is always about spending your money how you want. Just because I make a video about it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, go get that thing right now. Think about your budget, what you want to do with your money. But I do think Overcrowded is pretty great, but it is towards the end of the list since it's not as necessary as the cards I've put previously, and it is a little more expensive. Now on the same line, that all you got, it's a little more expensive. It's not as necessary as the other generics I've put in the video, but being able to defend a card with 2 or less power and then drawing a card when the combat chain closes can be super powerful, especially against things that have low attack power like assassin daggers. Being able to cover it up for free and then draw a card can be super powerful, as well as the fact that this is also just a block 3 defense reaction. So even if you're not getting its additional benefit, 3 block on the reaction step is very strong. The card is about $10, so we are looking at a little more expensive, but it is pretty powerful. So as always, make your own decisions. Erase Face, right around the same budget. This card is so powerful against a lot of different classes like Mechanologists that care a lot about their cards being Mechanologist, Earth heroes, they really want their cards to be Earth, Draconic heroes, they really want their cards to be Draconic. Erase Face, 2 for 6. If this hits, they lose all class and talents, so very powerful, a little more expensive, but this has seen play throughout many times in Flesh and Blood, and I think it's a great staple to have. Now the last card, one of my favorite cards in the game, Enlightened Strike. If you're watching this and Compendium of Wraith has not been released, do not buy this. This is getting reprinted in Compendium of Wraith. Now if you're watching this after Compendium has been released, it's probably a good time to pick up Enlightened Strike. There should be a good amount on the market. This is such a versatile card. Being able to use any card and putting it in the bottom of your deck to give this card go again, +2, or draw a card. It lets you fix a lot of your hands that maybe weren't so playable. Blocks for 3, which is very powerful. Right now, it's sitting about 25. I think once we get the reprint, this could be closer to $15, maybe like 10 if the print run is very high. So don't buy this just yet, but it will be reprinted, and I think it will be a great time to pick it up, especially for you new players. But that pretty much wraps it up, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you like this type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments down below if there's any cards I missed. Like I said, I'm going to do more videos about new cards that new players should own, so be on the lookout for that. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.